Yeah, all right. Welcome to Spaces. UConn 72, Bryant 49. Huskies improved to 5-1 on the season. Sixth game of the non-con down. Illinois and Kansas coming up. Huskies led tonight, but I suppose we should say probably Silas tonight. A triple-double. Always like to get one of those. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Eric Ryba leading the team in points, 16 tonight, with 6 rebounds tonight on 6 of 10 from the floor. So for the two of them, a decent night, I would say. A good defensive performance. I think we've had better offensive nights. What say you, Hurley Mania?
Good evening. Yeah, that's an understatement. This sort of game exists on your schedule, and it's the game none of us will remember in about a week and a half happening. You just have these on your schedule, and you just get through them and hope nobody gets hurt. And that was accomplished tonight. So, job done in that regard. Start with the positives. Great. Just it caps an awesome 8 days for Silas, where he's the MVP of the game in Boston against BYU. Has a pretty good night Wednesday night, tough loss against an elite point guard. And tonight gets his first triple-double. So all returns very good so far on the Silas DeMurray Jr. experience. He's fit in seamlessly. He looks like the missing piece. That's one of the positives. The other was I thought Jaden Ross was really good tonight, especially defensively. He had a great night at everything but shooting threes. Of course, Jaden Ross finished with plus 24 in 24 minutes. He had 2 steals, 5 rebounds, 3 of the rebounds, offensive rebounds. Perfect night from the line. Thought he was great. Also, great night for Eric Ryba. Finishes with 16 points in 19 minutes. Grabbed 6 rebounds. He hit all 4 of his free throws tonight. I would have gladly traded them for Wednesday, but we are where we are. And so those are the good things. And when I mentioned a moment ago about Silas being the missing piece, the problem is we're missing other pieces right now. And that includes Terrace Reed not playing and Braylon Mullins not playing. But it also includes, concern for tonight, is that Solo Ball and Alex Caravan were largely absent. And the solo thing now is the thing people are talking about. The two of them combined shot 2 for 13 from 3. And of the 13 threes, I'm going to guess 10 of them were shot from like outside NBA range. And it just looks terrible. It isn't going in. For either of these guys, especially Solo, I'm more concerned about Solo than Alex. Alex did contribute with 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Alex has been good to start the season. The Solo thing is a concern right now. And I think the overall situation is that with Terrace Reed, this is maybe the best team in the country. Without him right now and Braylon Mullins, this just looks like a top 20-ish team, which is a really good floor to have. But the offense right now just looks kind of broken.
Yeah, I wasn't wild about what I saw tonight. I'm not as worried about Alex. I just think Alex is more of the confluence of. I think 2 weeks ago, I think everybody probably agree he might have been playing his best basketball of the year so far. And I just think it's one of those things like you kind of really take Terrace out of the equation. Like there's just not a lot of guys on the roster right now that can go get you easy points. Really kind of outside of Alex, which allows you to fixate on Alex and kind of smother him and the like. So he's just going to get extra attention. And it's just going to be a little bit harder for him to create. I just think he had a lousy shooting night tonight. Nothing that I'm like particularly worried about. I think forget Terrace. I mean, I think you even start adding Mullins back into the mix. Like I just think it's going to be a very different look altogether. Solo worries me right now, man. I mean, this is like what is this? The 6th bad shooting night in a row for him. 1 for 6 from 3 tonight. 3 for 11 from the field. He had 2 rebounds, but 1 assist. Kind of like, ugh.
The killer is that the defense looks fine. It's kind of amazing. He did have 2 steals tonight. So
yeah, I mean, it's not like, it's tough. I think Noah Escalator said it offline, and we were talking about how I think tonight was kind of just one of those weird nights where you don't feel like you learned anything new about a team.
Yeah.
And I guess you can look at that either, good or bad, I guess. But they kind of just are what they are right now, as not a full unit. I thought Eric looked better under the basket tonight. Like, by all accounts, I don't want him obviously starting in these games coming up against Illinois and Kansas, especially against Florida. But like, he's been fine. 16 points tonight, 6 for 10 from the field. I'd like to see him flush the ball a little bit more. A little too much of the European fancy pants stuff. But he also makes some wild finishes under the basket. Like, his ceiling's going to be so high. So second game through, I've been mostly pleased with him. But, he is not like the physical dominating force that Reed is, obviously. And he's not a great rim protector at this point. I think he played 19 minutes tonight. He had 4 fouls. So we'll see. But it's just hard, in one of these games to really draw a whole heck of a lot more from this until we get to see members of the band back in the fold. And like, I don't want to like totally go over the top tonight. There's just playing a 6:00 game on a Sunday night in Hartford, coming off a very emotionally draining stretch of 2 games. I'm not particularly that worried about the shooting performance tonight.
It was a very true TV game.
It was as true TV of a game as you get. We shot 5 for 25 from 3 tonight. Not great. But I will say this, like, they got a lot of good looks. This wasn't them taking I don't know, some of the shots Alex took tonight, particularly the one from the People's Bank, the people on the People's Bank logo in the People's Arena. That was a little much. I need to be shooting from that far away. But like, all in all, lousy shooting night. I thought the defensive effort was there. We just gotta get Terrace Reed back. Like, so badly, we need Terrace Reed back. I'll feel so much better and less anxious about all of this. All of it. But I am a little concerned. I guess it's a shred concern that are a little too German sports car right now, which I guess is to be expected early in the year anyway. I think obviously you take some big pieces out of any of the teams that we've had the last couple of years, you'd have that reservation, right? But they look I'm a little concerned. I want to know who's going to be the guy that's going to be able to get us some easy buckets, some easy points. So we just really don't have that guy right now with this mix of players.
Getting Terrace back is so huge for Solo, I think, as well, to just get him that extra half second outside where a guy's got to go out there and collapse because he's come inside to try and help deal with Terrace Reed because the primary defender's probably struggling a little bit. Just to get Solo, so many of these feel like corner looks, and he's got to shoot his way through it. The most notable thing that happened tonight was Dan's post-game press conference, which is true a lot, but in a game like this, it's really true. He said that Braylon and Terrace are both game time decisions for Friday. Not informed speculation. I'd be surprised if Terrace was really that available for that game. Braylon, I think a likelier chance that he comes back in the game, but I also don't have. I'm thrilled to get him back, but I also don't think it's not like those guys are going to need to be playing 20 minutes Friday against an elite team. But it'd be great to have either of them back. And the other was Dan gave a 40-second answer relating to Thanksgiving that was absolutely off the charts about tryptophan. So 72-49. It's a Saturday night against the NFL on True TV against Bryant. It looked sloppy. That sort of game has looked sloppy for years for good and bad UConn teams. You get excited going in because you see the spread. Like, the spreadsheet number is always 30 and they rarely hit it. So I think there are some, I'm going to give them some grace, especially because they're in the middle of this absolute gauntlet where, Arizona, Illinois, Kansas, Florida, Texas, red hot Butler, BYU. So yeah, a sleepy night tonight, but it's the sort of thing you better be ready at 12:30 on Friday because that team they're playing is serious fucking business. So a lot to work on, but The win's a win. Good to see that Silas continues to really blossom here. And also great to see Jacob Furphy get his first basket as a Husky somewhere 19,000 miles away. Sam Vecini is just so happy right now. And I'm happy for him.
It's a nice basket, too, man. Off balance. It was a tough finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Happy
And the last thing I want to touch on real quick, you mentioned with Eric Rye, but like, I don't want to see him getting major minutes in these games, but we're gonna because of the situation and this stuff. I said it last time. It's going to be so good in the long run. But also, I'm really impressed with him right now. Around the rim finishing isn't great, but what they've gotten out of him in these two games has drastically exceeded my expectations. And so it's a tough situation now, especially with the teams they're facing. But it's going to do him so well to have this many minutes once they get into like league play. That the hardest games right off the bat, he's got to go play 20, 30 minutes because of the terror situation. It really stinks because these are the wins that like really impact your seed line in a positive way. But if they haven't got Terrace, they haven't got him, and Eric's just thrown in the deep end, and he hasn't. He looked a little out of sorts in the first 5 minutes of the Arizona game. I don't blame him, but he's looked like he fits otherwise. And grabbing rebounds. His positioning is getting better on the inside. He's got to flush it more, yes, but that you hope will come in time. And he did have a dunk to get the 10th assist for Silas. So we're going to build off it. And the free throw stroke looked great tonight. So I'm thrilled with what they've gotten out of him as he's been put into a really impossible situation here and looks really great. Is Norman complaining? Your dog has.
Norman is complaining. He's driving me nuts out there.
He's mad that Eric didn't take a three. He's mad at Eric Rye didn't take a three. I don't know what to tell you. This wasn't the night for it.
Yeah, but I don't know what's wrong with my dog. I'm gonna go get to him in a little bit. But yeah, the delivery driver dropped something off about 2 minutes ago, and now we're barking. Not while the guy's here. After the fact.
Did he drop you off another yard of popcorn?
Can we just talk about the popcorn? I saw Little Red's tweet tonight too about the popcorn. I felt like everybody was having a popcorn experience tonight. We're getting the really important hard-hitting analysis now of tonight's game. Got up just a little bit after halftime. I went to go get a little bit of a snack. And I saw somebody carrying the little UConn box of popcorn around. I'm like, you know what? That's perfect. That's like the perfect amount of popcorn that I want right now. Right? So like I, go downstairs to get some popcorn. The usual stand near 239, kind of right at the base of the stairs, wasn't there. So it's like, all right, I'll go mingle with the sheeple from the bottom of the arena, and go up to this stand to get the popcorn, right? And so I pay for it. I don't really think about it, and she's like, "Well, hang on, we just gotta, put the popcorn in a bag." So I'm like, okay, I'll have the popcorn in the bag. No big deal. No box. Probably a little bit more than I'm going to want, but that's all right. So I'm like scoping out what beer I'm going to buy. And out of the corner of my eye, I start to watch the lady bag the popcorn. And I knew I was in trouble when I saw the popcorn tumble out of the thing and I couldn't see where it was landing. So I'm like, well, when you're done with that, I'm just going to go buy my beer and She's like, no, I'm almost done. She was not almost done. This legit took her like a minute and a half to fill up this bag of popcorn. This tube of it was a tube of popcorn. This was not a bag of popcorn. This was like, you could have fit a small body in there. Like, legitimately. A small body you could have fit in this popcorn bag. And it was 4 feet long. Swear on the Bible. And I'm like, I'm going to feel like, I'm a robust guy, all right? I'm a robustly built individual, but like, I'm not that bad, and I'm like, I got to walk around with this. This is kind of embarrassing. I got to walk around with this thing. It's like 4 feet of popcorn. It was like a weapon.
I'm just turning to you in the second half when the game isn't much of anything, and you're just experience. You're just like it's a final exam. Like, I can't keep. And you would tie the bag like you were done, and 2 minutes later you're untying it. Like, there's so much left.
Like, yeah. I mean, I'm so dehydrated right now. Like, seriously, I might piss crystals later tonight. Like, there is just way too much popcorn. Like, who ever would have come up with the idea for that? Even for a family of 4, there's no way you're getting through that. Like, who came up with this idea? And, like, why is it there? And then on top of it, why does it cost the same amount as all the other popcorn stands?
The world may
This is
never
a lot
know.
of popcorn. Like, it's just a heinous amount of popcorn. I was so thirsty coming home. Like, I've had enough sodium today I made a really nice bowl of ramen for myself this afternoon. I make a very good doctored up ramen, by the way. I'm a good cook in general. So I had that, and that's a little sodium bomb, you know? And then I went down there. I mean, my heart right now probably got the texture of, like, the Great Salt Flats. It's not good, man. So I drank, like, an entire 1-liter bottle of seltzer.
I'm
An
gonna
entire thing. I'm
need
still
another
thirsty.
co-host on Friday because you might not make it. You got Thanksgiving between now and then, so.
I mean, I'll do fine on Thanksgiving. We'll talk about Thanksgiving later. We are going to talk about some Thanksgiving food because I do want to find out what everybody's eating and what their bad takes are on what dog shit they're probably going to put into their face on Thursday. But man, oh man, I was not expecting that popcorn. Assault by popcorn. And of course, the first thing that I open up when I on Twitter, there's Little Red fucking annihilating his face with a bag of popcorn as well. It was very good popcorn, but just too much.
Too much. UConn, too much for Bryant tonight, 72-49. On to Wednesday against the Fighting Illini of Illinois, who look like a wagon. So with that, we should probably let the Wieners whine.
Should we let the Wieners whine? I agree. All right, folks. The UConn Husky season is here, and the good folks at Martin Roll Souls are here to help keep you fueled so you can keep foot on gas throughout the year. Hot dogs, kielbasa's, sausages, deli meats, not popcorn. You name it. Not only can you grab what you need for the big game at the retail store at 45 Grove Street in New Britain, they'll even bring the meats to you and ship them across the country. That's Martin Roll Souls, the official sponsor of the Connecticut Basketball Spaces Wiener Weiner line. Folks, it's time to get to the meat of tonight's show. And by that, we mean the Martin Roll Souls Wiener Weiner line. We're going to be taking calls and check-ins here for the next hour. So anything that you got to say, whether it's about tonight's game, about Thanksgiving food, popcorn, anything in life that's tickling your fancy, go ahead and request on up, and we'll get you rocking and rolling in here. So going to bring in...
While we do that, we want to mention, of course, this show is presented by the fine folks at Stores Central. I want to thank them for their support as well.
All right. Going to bring in, who do I want to go to first? We're going to go to Husky Army first, man. Husky Army, what do you got for us?
When are you guys going to stop carrying water for Caravan? All right, you're very quick to criticize everyone else, but never Caravan.
Well, that's the first time anybody has ever accused Hurley Mania of that. So
I'm floored by that one. Wow. I spent a little too much on the good PR. Yeah, he's struggling around. I think he's an excellent college basketball player. He's not an alpha dog. And right now, when they're missing this many weapons, it gets a little bit into last year where we're all talking about what's wrong with Al. It's like, yeah, he needs the other guys. He's in a bit of a shooting funk right now. There's no question. But, I mean, he was really good in the BYU game. So they're going to need him on Friday. He's got to rise to the moment. He has most of his career. But tonight, yeah, he had a bad night tonight. I mean, he's a fifth-year senior playing Bryant at 6 o'clock on a Sunday. The mind can wander.
Appreciate it.
All
Okay.
right.
Thought that was going to be a lot more heated than it ended up being. Thank you.
No, it wasn't. I mean, I don't know. I think he's the one guy that obviously everybody is going. He's Dan's security blanket. I think the whole country knows that. Dan doesn't make any qualms about that. Makes no efforts to hide that. And I think he's just the easiest guy to kind of take off the board when you can really focus on him. You know, we talked about it in the Arizona game. Like, when you don't have to worry about the ball getting, thrown down to Terrace Reed the next scoring option in terms of a guy that can, like, get to the hoop, score you some easy baskets. The guy that they're probably going to be looking to is probably right now, for at least for right now, is going to be Alex. And he's the guy now that you don't have to worry about Braylon Mullins. You don't have to worry about Terrace Reed. Solo ball's a little cold right now. You can kind of challenge him to beat you at this point. I think Silas is going to do what Silas is going to do. Just gets really easy to kind of game plan, when you're down personnel. This isn't taking anything away from, Stewie or Ross, but they're not exactly guys at this point in the season that are going to be commanding a ton of attention. So, I just think he's the no-brainer guy to kind of go out there and, we talk about taking chess pieces off the board. He's probably the easiest one. So I think even with Mullins back, things are going to open up for him dramatically. Terrace will help also, but I feel like Mullins will open up Alex a lot more. You're going to have to worry about 4 very good shooters on the perimeter, which is a lot of shooters to worry about on the perimeter. So we'll see. Solo's a little different. We're missing some wide open bunnies here. He is about as cold as it gets.
Right, he's down to 25% from 3, which is not who he is. You just hope that it breaks out on Friday because they're going to need him. They're going to need everybody, really, Friday, because it's a huge test.
Yeah, they're going to have to shoot lights out on Friday. They want to win that game. Can't shoot like they've shot last couple days. Jane Daly, wonderful to see you tonight. How are we doing this evening?
Gentlemen, greetings from somewhere on 84 outside Danbury.
Okay, so you'll be there for about 3 hours.
Always great to see the both of you two. I have Sam driving me, so I'll turn the mic over to him at some point too. Very impressed with Ryba. I'm gonna have a piece on him probably when I get back into New York at some point. If you're up in the middle of the night, it'll probably be out then. He's got a Silas piece coming out, and that question that Dan answered about college basketball needing extra media coverage, that was from me. That'll be in a column later on this week.
Thank you. I did see that. I was kind of wondering where that one came from, so I appreciate that you asked it. And I know at some point Sam will want to talk about another Connecticut team that played this evening.
Well, until we do that, I'll talk about the Connecticut team that played Friday night at the Rack that we got to celebrate a 13-point win for.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a weekend for Connecticut college basketball. Just embarrassing other teams. Yale with a huge win today over Charleston as well, but CCSU 0-2 against UMass and Quinnipiac. We'll get to them in a little bit. But 2-0 against Power Conference opponents. Central with a win over BC. That was light work. But a win on Friday night down at Rutgers. A huge couple of wins for them.
Yeah, Pat Sellers should never have to pay for food or drinks at Elmer's again.
I'm pretty sure that was a standing offer. But, yeah. Although, the NEC title game might have ruined that. Yeah, they look good. They look great. Them in Long Island, the NEC is going to be really interesting to watch because that league is so bad, but those two teams are like the best of the bunch. So I'm excited.
All right,
I can't believe you were there because nobody could. But you couldn't watch the CCSU game without paying the Big Ten $12. So
I don't know what the deal with Jaden's phone is, but the volume is
3 years old. That's like
3 years old. I mean, it is old for a phone, but so yeah. Second chance to see UConn in person. Thought that they were sluggish, but got the job done. Turned it up when they needed to on defense. Never really made it a game, which is kind of the important thing against a team like this. Like, don't fuck around. They didn't fuck around, but they weren't good for that. And I think that they will have much more in the tank for Illinois on Friday. Excited to be at the Garden for that one. Was also able to catch the UConn women today at Mohegan Sun. That is one hell of a basketball team.
Yes, speaking of not fucking around.
Just absolute wagon. Was also able to catch the Syracuse women at Mohegan Sun. Very much not a wagon. But yeah, Quinnipiac, how about it? Our Bobcats get the win over Pitt. Pitt is not in a good spot right now. They struggled, got blown out by West Virginia, now losing to Quinnipiac. Think that for them, they've really got to turn it on, or else Capel's going to be facing a lot of questions. But you look at the landscape of Connecticut basketball right now. It's really good. I mean, Fairfield's 4-2. I'm seeing Sacred Heart tomorrow against Central. If anybody is an absolute sicko and wants to see two Connecticut teams play college basketball tomorrow, go to New Britain at 7:00. It should be an interesting one. Sacred Heart can really, really score. Central Connecticut, we know what they are. I mean, they're a good, well-coached ball club. So that's going to be an interesting one. I'll be there. And then we've got
Connor will be there too, by the way.
Yeah, so there will be multiple tweets on your timelines about that game. But the crux of the situation is we've got Quinnipiac looking a lot better today than they have in the past couple games. They've struggled at times, needed a big comeback to beat Maine, but they had a big win today, obviously. Central, obviously good. Yale, obviously good. Winning in Paradise Jam is notable. I think they're playing for the championship there against. I don't know who against. Oh, that is going to be a game. By the way, Akron is awesome. They demolished Princeton. They demolished Iona. They have two guards that were there last year, Tavari Johnson and Shama Scott, who can play. They've got the Mahaffey brothers. Evan is a senior who transferred from Ohio State. Eric is a freshman who might be better than his brother, who played 4 years of high major basketball, or 3 years of high major basketball, so that's something. And then they've got Amani Lyles, who's a solid mid-major big man for sure. So Akron is a team. Like that's a ball club, and they're well coached. So that's a game to watch. ESPN Plus, if you have it, definitely watch Akron against Yale.
Yeah, that's 8:00 tomorrow night.
Yeah, 8:00. Virgin Islands should be. Iona had the big comeback win against Oregon State the other day, so that was exciting to watch on ESPN Plus. But back to UConn, Illinois, type of team that they have a bunch of experienced guys, they have a bunch of younger guys too, but even their younger guys kind of play like their experienced guys. Like Mirkovic is just everywhere. It feels like there's 3 of them on the floor. That's going to be a tough task. I mean, Boswell's been awesome for them this year. It finally kind of feels like he's taken the step to what we know he can always be. Tomislav is back. And then you've got Petrovic, who made his debut against Alabama at the United Center, and he was okay. They're going to probably go to him a little bit more. I wasn't able to see how they played against Long Island. I know they kicked their ass, but what top 10 team isn't kicking Long Island's ass? But yeah, Illinois is a top 10 team. That's a legit foe, and I think that's going to be one awesome game. And next year in Chicago is going to be a great game too.
Yeah, I think it's the best team on UConn's schedule right now. I like them a little more than Arizona, although credit to Arizona coming into Gamble and getting the win. If folks haven't watched Andrei Stojakovic play, and I'm a sicko and I watched him play at Stanford and Cal because of course he played at both, which is a totally normal thing to do.
ACC basketball player, by the way, former ACC basketball player.
It's true. He's an incredible player. And their star freshman is, you alluded to, David Mirkovic looks incredible. So and
they've got Keaton Wagler, who's pretty good too as a freshman. And they're a freaking ball club. Like I think I would agree that by the end of the season, I think of everyone on UConn's schedule, I would expect them to be the best team. I could see it being Florida. Those are probably the two, and Arizona as well. But Illinois, for me, I feel like their ceiling is higher than anyone else on UConn's schedule, and they're also there. They're closer to the ceiling. They're obviously not at their ceiling. They lost to Alabama, but I think they're closer to their ceiling than Florida is, and I think they're probably closer to their ceiling than BYU is right now. And obviously, Arizona's probably closer to their ceiling, but that's because it's Arizona and it's the month of November, and they always hit their ceiling in the month of November. And I fell for it a couple of years ago, and I don't think I'm falling for it again. But they're a good ball club, really good ball club.
You and me both, buddy. You and me both on Arizona. I'm mostly worried with Arizona. They don't shoot threes.
They just don't want to. It's weird.
There's just not enough threes from them. They're a souped-up version of St. John's from last year.
With a better coach.
Teams that are kind of Mayday once you get to the tournament. They're just going to get some team that goes ape shit, hits a bunch of threes, and that's going to be all she wrote. Not going to let them fool me again.
Fair enough. Before I wrap up, just a little preview of Thanksgiving down here in New York. We're doing baked ziti, roasted chicken, and stuffed mushrooms stuffed with sausage and peppers.
Oh my God, you're so Italian. That sounds awesome.
And it's a beautiful fucking thing.
No turkey?
No, we haven't really done that for the last few years.
That sounds tremendous.
Well, anyway, happy Thanksgiving, gentlemen. Love you guys. If you're coming down to the Garden on Friday, we'll see you there.
And go Orange tomorrow against Houston.
No, go to hell.
No.
Please.
Definitely not go Orange.
The one thing, they could do us a solid if they somehow beat Kansas. It would really help the resale market for UConn Kansas that we can have. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Love you guys.
Jaden, absolute sickos. I wish I could
score more than Notre Dame scored against Syracuse football.
Yeah, the football team looked great yesterday. No, appreciate all your coverage in the articles, and looking forward to. I'll be watching a little bit of Sacred Heart Central Connecticut. I have a wife and child now. Believe me, I want to be there, but I think I'd like to stay married, so I'm going to pass on Dietrich tomorrow evening. Beautiful Dietrich. That does not give you a yard of popcorn, by the way.
Don't ever want a yard of popcorn again. I can smell it just everywhere right now. It's consuming my being. It's popcorn.
The best.
I left it there too on principle. I'm not
it.
bringing that.
You just left it. You were like, I can't. I'm not taking this home.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. It's terrible. I guess we'll go next to Postradamus, who Cowboys had quite the day today.
Oh, he's so mad about it. It's so great.
So mad about it. Those assholes are going to give me hope. Yeah, no, I'm mad about that. I guess we talked about this a little bit offline, but looking at the guards and length that Illinois has, maybe for Friday, can I fancy you in starting Jaden Ross for perimeter defense? Because I think that's something we're going to need outside of just general rebounding, because Merkovich averages 16 and 11. But yeah, I don't know. I like Stewie, but I just feel like starting off the rip, maybe that defensive intensity can kind of get everyone going.
I'd be okay with it. I am a little lowercase c concerned about having Solo and Jalen and Alex on the floor at the same time defensively. Just a little bit. And especially against a team like that. Because you got to be able to stay in front of that team. I mean, Merkovich is 6'9", Ivicic is 7'2" on the inside. Stojakovic is a huge 6'7". They're so big.
And they have another 7-footer. They can roll out too.
Yeah, it's a massive test. I'd be okay with that. I'm more concerned with the amount of minutes than who plays the first 5. But yeah, this is not a team you're going to want to be trying to come back from behind. I would agree with that, especially if Page's kid goes on a heater, which he is absolutely equipped to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it at all. I think Jaden's starting to really gradually make a case to bully his way into the starting lineup right now. I personally, what did he finish with tonight? Was it plus 23, plus 24?
Yeah, it was plus 24.
Plus 24.
I just feel like he's slowly starting to nudge his way into that starter conversation. I've been just incredibly impressed with him all the way around. I mean, the 3-point shooting wasn't spectacular tonight. But, I don't want to go as far as to say that there's a lot of Andre Jackson in there, but there's like a little Andre Jackson in there. I mean, he had 8 points tonight. Not a great shooter, but he only had 2 personal fouls, played some great defense. And he swiped with, about 5-6 rebounds tonight, ended up with 2 steals. I just like everything about where his game is right now and what he's bringing to the table. And I feel like this group plays its best basketball when he's on the floor. I would want to take a look at the numbers before saying that, but I feel that way. My feelings, my fuzzies. I feel like the engine runs the best with him out on the floor right now. So I would have absolutely no problem with them trotting him out
Now,
on Friday in the starting
plus
lineup
minus
right now.
is a flawed stat, but it's the only thing I can pull up real quick is that he is plus 106 on the season. He does lead the team. So I think he's been great. The thing I've liked the most about him is that it's been pretty consistent, because that was the issue, right? It wasn't just that they've gotten this out of him. Is that it's been a really solid 20 minutes pretty much every game. In the BYU game, he had foul trouble. That's a really good team also. So I like that they've been able to kind of, it hasn't just been, oh, wow, he really blew up in this game. Is it like it's, now when he comes into the game, I think it's not just a bit. Like, I expect him to play well, and he usually does, especially on the defensive end. And anything you get from him on the offensive side, I look at as a bonus. So
He's been way more controlled, like in the open court, like decision making and stuff. Ace has been really good. Just a lot of intensity. He takes off and flies. It's the best thing ever. We love when Jaden flies.
I wish they could just pass the confidence around to everybody else, because there'd be plenty left over for him. He is very confident. It's too confident sometimes, but I respect it.
Last question is: are we going to have the NBA 3 in the MSG
Probably.
on Friday? I mean, it doesn't matter because Alex is going to take it from half court if he's open, basically. So
Yeah, tonight was weird because it was like, oh, we're going to do this in Hartford now. We're going to start shooting the 27-footers. Yeah, there's going to be an NBA court down. We're all just going to have to deal with it. They're going to be lining up from out there. It was a bit of a concern. I felt kind of similar going into the Gonzaga game last year. The team was worse, and I was worried about the game, like I am a little on Friday. And then they played great and got a big win. So I'm going to be positive on that point of view, especially if they can get anything out of Braylon or Terrace.
I mean, with Alex, it's fine. Like, I'm not worried about him. The solo thing's baffling to me because it's not even the fact that he's missing. I mean, these aren't even like close. If it's straight on, he's back rimming it like every time.
The one thing I'll say,
like
tonight,
he's wide open.
None of the kicking the leg out shit. At least they ironed that out.
Stop being Reggie Miller. Thank God. We don't need any Reggie Millers here. Be Cheryl Miller, the better Miller.
Thank you.
Like, we don't need a Reggie there.
He's a loser. Reggie Miller, I mean, is a loser. Solo's great. Yeah, as long as if Solo can stop the foul baiting, that's step one. Next, step two is knock down the corner threes. And then we'll figure the rest out. Thank you, Post.
Word, that's all I got.
Enjoy 8-8-1, by the way. Enjoy it.
It's a big day for Posty today.
Wait,
big
Posty, win. Do we still have Posty? I actually do have a real question for him. Thanksgiving favorite dish? Go.
Stuffing.
Good answer. Thank you.
It's a good answer. It's a quality answer. Wow, do we agree on the right Thanksgiving dish?
I had other answers I could give, but I didn't want to make this really acrimonious. I'm fine with stuffing. It's the highest floor dish, totally.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of stuffing.
Yep.
I like stuffing.
It's the safest pick in the draft.
Does it count?
My Jaden Ross version, in terms of the wild variance one, is actually green bean casserole. When it's really good, it's really good. But if it's out of a can, it's Jaden shooting corner threes last year. It's just not good.
Yeah, it's a bust if it's not good.
Terrible. Cash fraud, what say you?
Does gravy count as a dish?
I mean, it could. Are you one of those people that just like slurps the gravy down?
No, you just have to put it on everything. It just ties everything together. It's like the Terrace Reed of Thanksgiving dinner.
You could do that. I think that's an acceptable play. Gotta be crazy with the gravy. You gotta be careful with the gravy, though. My mom and grandmother, my grandmother was a great cook. My mom, not as much. But for all of my grandmother's accolades in the kitchen, very subpar gravy maker. And they really took that personally. They got really, and the more they tried to fix the gravy, the shittier it got. It was a hot balls family topic of conversation. Harry, you got to be careful with the gravy.
Yeah, it's
We
really
actually,
easy to screw gravy up.
yeah,
when
we
you're
subbed
chasing
the
it.
subcontracted the gravy out. Dramatically improved the holiday season and experience for all of us. You
But
can get some bad gravy.
other than that, I would have to also say in the bird stuffing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
without doubt.
I need to think I'm going to get E. coli while I'm eating it. I need a little bit of danger.
Fucking thermometer.
We do the old smoke the turkey. Get the big smoker out. And when in Texas, you gotta have your grill out on the driveway on Thanksgiving, and everyone's just gotta be like, yeah, smoke the turkey for a bunch of hours.
So you guys like turkey smokers? You guys like fry the turkey?
We do. We smoke. I do the smoking. Turkey smokers.
We'd bake it.
See, I've
Just
never
bake it,
done
you
the
just throw it in
fry.
the oven. Raw
I've
dog,
never
you
done
frying
the
it?
yeah, I've never done the fry thing, but I'm intrigued by it. But I also like having my house not burned down.
Yeah,
So-
those are very dangerous. But I don't know. Dangerous is my middle name.
So we go to like my uncle's house and like we can see out like their back window into the neighbor's yard, and they always smoke it, so we always get a show while we're eating.
I feel like the smoked turkey thing is really not overall. That's the last 10 to 15 years thing. Is everybody gets like the rich pricks like no escalators end up with like green eggs and
Big
you
green
can do
eggs.
your fancy smoking. That's not something that the hoi poi.
It's like a fancy thing to you. That's like a NIMBY kind of thing that you do. You want these people out of your backyard, and I'm going to smoke my turkey.
Right, but I mean, if they've got the fryer out, they're in for danger. They're fun to hang out with, but as long as it's somebody else's house and I have a clear escape path, I'd be down to try it.
Just one of those safety first kind of guys. Got to have an exit plan, like everything in life, really. I don't know. Cash Rod, do you have any basketball related thoughts tonight?
43% effective field goal rate. They didn't have a game that bad all year last year, but they did have 2 in 2024 and 3 in 2023. So
yeah, and Dan's very excited about having a point guard with a triple double because they won a lot the last time they did. Like I like thinking Dan's just direct corollary. Well, we've done it now. We've got Tristan, we've brought him back. When the truth is, given the way the NCAA is, if they just wanted to literally bring Tristan back, they could probably get him by like Baylor or by Texas at the latest.
yeah, I'm on board. I think the team's better with Jaden on the floor. I don't know, the defense just ratchets up. They're just like suffocating on defense with Jaden.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the energy all the way around. I feel like they get up and down better. I feel like the offense. I just feel like the motion in the ocean is a lot better on the offensive end of things. And yeah, the defensive intensity is a completely different level with him on the court.
Yeah, and like strangely, like last year, like sort of Jaden's like pass first mentality on offense kind of didn't really fit the team so much, but this year his pass first mentality is actually seems like good for the offense. It like keeps it flowing more, I think.
Yeah, I think it's helped. And the other thing is like I don't have the stats in front of me, but every time they're on the glass, he always seems to get a hand on something. And it's not just coming down with the rebound. Although he's been okay in the rebounding department, it's his ability to just keep plays contested to get that extra tip. I feel like you see a lot of that from him when he's on the floor. I ended up with 5 rebounds tonight. I swear to God, I felt like he had 3 or 4 instances tonight where he tipped the ball in the paint that ended up being scooped up by somebody else. And he's like crafty about it too. Like he's got that from Andre. He's not committing a lot of over the backs.
I agree on the Andre thing too. I don't think he's as good of like a passer playmaker as Andre was, but I think he does like everything else better on offense right now. So
yeah, he's kind of more offensively. He's not the athlete that Andre was either.
yeah,
I think Andre is just one of like the most freaky athletic players in program history that we've ever had. The only guy I think we've ever had that I thought was like a better like pure athlete, maybe two or three, would probably be Stanley Robinson, and then I suppose you could probably put Rip or Ray in there, but like
Bouknight was
Andre's body control is just outrageous, right? But like Andre couldn't throw water in a well, and as a shooter, although it got better. But like just again, it's more sort of the little things that they do that again, stuff that just doesn't show up in the spreadsheet, up on the stat sheet at the end of the game where we're talking about tip rebounds, we're talking about getting in the passing lanes, the pressure that he puts on the ball. He's not the playmaker that I'm with you on that. He's not like the pure playmaker. He doesn't have the court vision quite yet that Andre did. But he's not far off, and he's more versatile offensively. Like Jaden can score the ball. I don't think he's like an elite 3-point shooter, but he can knock down 3-point shots to the point where you have to pay attention to him at least a little bit. And he get to the hole, man, and he can get out in transition. So, I really like his game. But I don't know. He's just one of those kind of gluey sort of guys that everything just looks better when he's out there.
And then while we're on the comparisons thing, so Silas, they were laying off him a lot tonight. Like they were giving him tons of space. And that was the thing for Tristan. Like Tristan would take these threes from deep even, but like whenever he had time to line up the threes, like he would make them. And I think maybe Silas might need to, when they're laying off him like that, I think he might need to just take his time, just like line him up and just knock him in.
Yeah, I think part of what teams like Illinois, especially in Arizona, are going to do is you're going to lay off him because in the current roster construction, your thought is, well, figure this out. Where you're going to pick out Solo, who's going to have to break a guy down one-on-one, possibly, or Alex. Once this thing gets humming, you're going to have to defend him out on the perimeter a lot more. And I think it also has been kind of refreshing to see with Silas, in addition to everything else, that he is starting to, I'm think that he can kind of call his own number in those situations. He's only 2 for 10 from 3, right? But last year he was a 38% shooter at Georgia. His freshman year was 30%, which isn't great, but it's not 20% like now. Like for Jaden Ross is currently 40% from 3. He is not a 40% 3-point shooter. He's also not the 11% guy that he was as a freshman.
Well,
so as these things equal out, it's going to help the whole offense.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Silas last year was pretty similar to like what Tristan's numbers were from 3 at UConn, like 35, 36%, right?
I'll pull them up side by side. Let's see. So Tristan at UConn, he shot 36% from 3 is his first senior year, I'll call it. And 32% in 2024. So he was 36% his first year at UConn, whereas last year Silas was 37% at Georgia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if he has the time, just like set your feet, line it up, and just nail it.
Yeah, that's kind of the same. It's the same thing we said about about Eric Ryba too. It's just they're not the guys you expect to take threes, but we know it's in the skill set. And maybe Friday's the day. I mean, it was for Eric, it was Wednesday, and they almost pulled it off. I'll be interested to see Friday, especially against a team with the size that Illinois has. And it's going to be a team that's going to chase over everything UConn runs. They're going to do the same thing Arizona did because Arizona had the bigs on the inside. Illinois, they're thinking the same thing because they know that if you chase over a screen, you can't keep up with the guy. That's okay. He's going to have to deal with Ivisic on the inside, or either Ivisic, I should say, or Mirkovic. So they've got the length of Illinois to just chase over everything because they can make up for it on the back end. And that could open up some opportunities as well. That's my concern for Friday is how downhill UConn tries to get against some of those guys.
Well, then for Alex, like I want to see Alex like bring that shoulder to the defender's hip and just like turn the corner on somebody, because they're just playing in his jersey right now.
Yeah, he's got to chop through these screens because the teams are all over him, and he's going to have to kind of be demonstrative about it to get some attention, because right now he's just trying to play through it and he's not getting anything. So if it takes you being a bit of a showboaty dick about it, well, let's try it, because nothing else has worked yet.
Yeah,
if Dan yells about it, he's going to get a T. So,
well, just get low. You have to bring your shoulder to the defender's outside hip and just sort of get the angle on him, because he's not gonna beat many defenders with his speed. So he's got to be able to get some leverage and use his strength and just try to get him on his hip.
yeah, I really want to see him kick some of those out too once he starts driving. It's not just about pure dribble drive to the basket. I think that's a huge opportunity for them to try and free some of the looks up on the outside as the defense collapses inside.
Yeah, and they had a couple like that tonight too, where they had opportunities to do that.
Yeah, it's been hard watching some of the corner threes from these guys, because they're great looks and they're great shooters, and it hasn't gone in yet. They got to shoot their way out. Thank you, Cash Fraud. Appreciate it.
Yep.
No Escalators apparently has opinions about Thanksgiving food. So.
Oh, yes, he does.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there in a second. I have basically nothing to say about the game because it was scheduled for 6 o'clock on a Sunday, which is the most violent time to schedule a game for somebody parenting young children who is just holding on by their fingertips at the end of the weekend, begging for somebody to go to bed when nobody wants to. And then any basketball thought I would have had was totally flashed out of my mind when you compared Jaden Ross to Andre Jackson, which, like, I like Jaden and I think there's a lot of potential, but that is just not that. Like, I can see if I squint how you get there, maybe, but I think we gotta pump the brakes for another year or two or 80. Anyway, stuffing sucks. If you want bread on Thanksgiving, you should get a nice loaf of bread and some good butter and just have the bread. You should not cook the stuffing in the turkey. It makes both the stuffing and the turkey worse because it causes heat dissipation problems in the bird. The best side are multiple variations of potatoes. Obviously, mashed potatoes are amazing. If you want to really kick your potato game up this year, Kenji Lopez has a recipe for Hasselback potatoes gratin, which is like a scalloped potato cooked on its side so that the top end exposed to the heat gets particularly crispy, and it has more cheese than you can possibly imagine in the recipe, plus a bunch of cream. You will not eat anything else if you cook that. So that is number one with a bullet if you want to go there, but a mashed potato can do really good. A regular scalloped potato, even if you get the Betty Crocker scalloped potato in a box and you don't want to break out your mandolin slicer, will do you just fine. Canned cranberry sauce, obviously, always a way to go. I think nobody from New England will have a problem with that at all, but it's a clearly correct opinion. You're smuggling a dessert into the regular portion of the meal, but it's not quite so sweet that it doesn't count as a regular food. So that's very high up there. And of course, as all right thinking people know, apple pie would be where you actually go for dessert. You can throw the pumpkin pie in the trash. You don't even need to bring the pecan pie to the Thanksgiving because there is a far superior fall pie, and it is apple, and you don't need to fuck with anything else. That is where you want to be. Turkey can be fine, whatever. Whoever said, does gravy count, was on the right track because gravy does count. Gravy should be up there. But you don't need to waste your time with stuffing something which is improved by gravy, but it's improved by gravy because it's honestly not that great, and you're lying to yourself in the first instance.
Okay, first, can you send me the potato recipe because I want to try that? That looks
Yeah, it's
good.
unbelievable. You will absolutely lose it. It is so good.
Second of all, pumpkin pie is fine. Don't be a child. Pumpkin pie is fine.
I actually think pie is
No,
a trash food to begin with. All of them.
Okay,
Bad.
I can't.
Cake is better than pie. Objectively, all the way down. All the way down.
That is just
Numerous reasons for that, but pumpkin pie is the trashiest of the
that
trash food.
pumpkin pie is trash.
Yeah.
Good blueberry and apple pie will both lap any cake 1,000 times over, but after that, you're into cake territory. We don't need to fuck with pumpkins here. They're great decorations. They're not meant for right-thinking people to eat.
I thought your
I'm
cranberry
glad
take
that
was
you have
dead
a sane
on.
opinion on pumpkin. Finally, somebody does. Nobody should be putting pumpkins in their mouth. That's just not. It's disgusting. And pecan pie is ass too. Like, my guide to eating that is like, step by step. Number 1, don't, and number 2, throw it in the trash.
I'm just not a big pie guy in general.
Yeah, Boston cream pie is good. That's technically a pie. That's just like
pudding. That's just you're eating pudding.
Yeah.
Totally,
Tastes more like a cake.
Totally agree on the cranberry take though. Absolutely, it's in a can. The fresh thing is just your try hard, and it absolutely is a dessert that somehow we're just allowing a course early.
I'm not a big cranberry guy.
Yeah, that's why you want the one in the can.
Yeah.
It's not a big cranberry guy. Even the cranberry in the can. I don't know.
And honestly, the people really aren't going to like this, but if you want your best holiday meal, whether it be Thanksgiving, Christmas, the 4th of July, Easter, Halloween, it's just a ham. Just go buy a ham. Everybody loves a ham. That's where you should be. That is the meal for a lot of people.
I saw that Costco had like the Spanish like fancy ham about 2 weeks ago. The one like on the bone with the whole display thing.
Well, that's an appetizer.
Oh, okay.
Jamon.
Yeah, you're gonna slice that off and have little pieces of it. But if you want to, feed a crowd, you want a proper ham.
I know that scientifically your stuffing take on in the bird is correct, but I don't know. That just sounds like you're just not trying hard enough and monitoring it properly. You can dissipate.
Do you want to know the temperature monitoring devices in my household for when I'm cooking?
It's a lot.
Okay, just take it out of the bird.
It is the safest way to do that, but talking about safety is kind of moot when you're using a mandolin. Just probably the most dangerous thing that God has ever put into a kitchen.
So sharp. We have one. It's terrifying.
It's just not good. My wife cut like a quarter of her thumb clean off one time. Just a mess in the kitchen. We're talking like Ric Flair level gig job, man. It was just everywhere. I don't think I know many people that have not harmed themselves on a mandolin.
Well, it sounds like a skill issue. Apologies to your wife.
It is. It still terrifies me. That thing.
It's an unnecessary skill to have. Got knives for a reason.
All right, that's all I got. Other than my general take about the team, which is that a good team should beat Bryant by 30 consistently, and we just, if we had the full team, we'd probably do that. We didn't, and it's just not what we're rolling out there now is just not the team that everybody expects to see in April, and I just hope everybody gets healthy. I'm not looking forward, based on the descriptions I've heard from looking at the shot charts in the morning.
Thank you, Noah Sledgers. Appreciate it. Your cake pop balls was disgusting. I mean, that's just childish.
What
But
is?
your
What's my
cake,
take?
you can't have cake at Thanksgiving.
Cake is so much better than pie is.
I agree.
I prefer cake,
This
but
is
I
much.
can't have cake at Thanksgiving. It's too much. It's indecent.
We've got Butler fans in our mentions who are in this space
We
tonight.
should, yeah. Kyle, would you just request?
Really upset about mac and cheese.
I think
Not celebrating their big win today.
Mhm.
Not celebrating their big win. Instead, any UConn basketball space is mentioned complaining about mac and cheese. A very Butler take, if I've ever heard one.
So Noah Escalators has sent me this potato gratin recipe he brought up, and it looks pornographic. It looks unbelievable. I might have to make this. I mean, I'll botch it 6 ways to Sunday, but I'll try.
Send it to me. I'll nail it.
No shot.
No shot.
If we have nobody waiting, you can run
incredible.
everyone through your ramen recipe too.
Oh yeah, no, I make a killer ramen, but you got to get the real stuff. You can't get like the shitty like Manchu ramen. You get it like Big Y. That's no good.
Yeah, that's a good Stores Central idea for you guys.
Oh yeah, no, we can totally do cooking with hot balls.
Yeah, we could have hot balls ASMR, mac and cheese.
Yeah, I cook a great mac and cheese. Actually, I cook Snoop Dogg's version of the mac and cheese. He's got a killer.
It's supposed to be really good.
Mac and cheese recipe. It's really
this.
good. You just got to make a roux before him. But yeah, no. So you take ramen. You don't just eat it like regular. So what I always do is you take a little sesame oil, not a lot, kind of a dab in a bowl, sort of a dab of soy sauce. You use some garlic or some freshly cut garlic as well if you want to. Depends on how fancy pants you want to be about it. You throw that in there, right? Get a little Kewpie mayo, a little squirt of that. Throw that in there, and you throw in an egg, right? Couple scallions, and you put in your soup mixture. All right, when you boil the water for the noodles, before you throw the noodles in there, throw some of that clean boiling water in and just mix it up. Gives you a really nice base. All right, and you cook your noodles, throw everything in there. Big wad of green onions on top, soft boiled egg. Preferably, you douse it in soy sauce. The egg tastes incredible when you put the soy sauce. You can marinate it even. I usually kind of keep a thing of them in there. You do it up a bunch of different little variations. Turkey bacon is great in the ramen, believe it or not. You can get really creative. You put a little chili oil in there. It's like a super thick, kind of creamy, spicy broth. It's killer. It's killer. Highly recommended. You're welcome. But get a good ramen. Don't get a dog shit ramen.
I'm imagining hot balls being on Chops with his fucking wrestling mask on, just whipping through the cabinet, making recipes.
I could see
Taking your kitchen to the mat. Yeah.
All right, a man who's extremely excited about his basketball team, but has, I think, a tremendously accurate take on a certain side dish is Kyle, the Butler fan. Kyle, we'll get to your basketball team, but first, please share with the public your very correct take on a certain side dish.
So you can go one of two ways. You can decide you're doing Thanksgiving, which is you eat turkey, you eat stuffing, you eat gravy. That is doing Thanksgiving, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. But if you're going to serve mac and cheese at Thanksgiving, you're not doing Thanksgiving. So then just don't do turkey because chicken is better than turkey. So just do chicken instead. So just go one of two ways, right? Do Thanksgiving and just say, I'm going to have maybe a little bit of worse food, but I'm actually going to do Thanksgiving, which is what I enjoy doing because it's one day of the year. I can have chicken and mac and cheese whenever I want. But then if you're going to do mac and cheese, you're not doing Thanksgiving. So you might as well put other actually good food rather than turkey, which I think sucks.
Yeah, this is Southern creep is what this is. This idea that I've seen the last couple of years about mac and cheese as Thanksgiving food is completely asinine, and it needs to be stopped.
It's not. I mean, it's good. It's good food. Mac and cheese is great. It's just not It's not a Thanksgiving food, and I think it's a. You're right that it started in the South, but I think it's become somewhat of a just of a worryingly mainstream idea that mac and cheese is a Thanksgiving food, and I hate it so much.
And an offshoot of this, hot balls, if you call stuffing dressing, fuck off.
Who calls
That
stuffing
one.
dressing?
In the South, they call stuffing dressing. Sherman didn't go far enough. It's
What
horrible.
an abominable area of the country.
Say hi to Mom.
Hey,
Kyle,
Butler 2-0 against the Confederacy states this weekend.
they are. Let's talk about the Butler Bulldogs, for better or worse, might be a top 4 team in the Big East Conference.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think that I also think that the death of the Big East is maybe not greatly exaggerated, slightly exaggerated. It was a bad start. I think there's more teams than people think that are still pretty decent basketball teams that will have a shot at the tournament. I do think that.
Sure, hope so. Yeah, but Butler looked great this weekend. They didn't play great teams, but hey, they beat South Carolina, they beat Virginia in a ballroom next to the alternate Congress in West Virginia.
With just the most. I mean, I wasn't there, but the most. If you watch the highlights or watch the game back, every single shot of the crowd is just the same human beings. There's no way they're different. West or Virginia fans, all in these striped quarter zips, yelling what you can only imagine is the most disgusting shit possible at the refs. Like their fans, I wasn't even there, and their fans were pissing me off.
Yeah, but it was a great couple of wins, and I got to give Thad credit. There's a lot of pressure on him this year, but I mean, you know this, Kyle. If only they had that SMU game, this would be so drastically different.
If they had that SMU game, I think that they'd be at least receiving AP votes, and I think that there would be a certain narrative that is catching hold a little bit anyway, as far as Butler might be pretty decent. But if they had that SMU game, which they were, Finley's last shot and a couple other things, but Finley's last shot being 2 inches too long, if they had that game, I can't even imagine how obnoxious. I thought I'd be obnoxious. I told myself this morning I was going to be really obnoxious if we won this game, but now I put myself in a weird position because I think we're actually a pretty good basketball team, and that makes me nervous because now I'm like, oh shit, we might have expectations.
And they overcome a bad long range shooting day from Finley Bizjack, who was 2 for 10 from 3,
and yet was still the best player on the court.
Yeah,
I mean,
incredible to start the year.
I mean, not that it matters. It's performative bullshit. Well, it's not bullshit. It matters to people. It matters to the players, and I get that. But I would assume and hope for our narrative's sake, maybe not for our NIL pockets next year if we're going to pay him sake, but I would assume that you'll see Finley win the Big East Player of the Week this week.
I mean, it should be Silas, but fine, give it to Finley. I'm fine with it.
So Kyle,
I'm actually completely fine with it. Yeah, because the BYU game would have been last week, and they give it to Alex. Yeah, now give it to Finley, who's now got Kevin Durant tweeting about him during games, and it's been pretty impressive to watch so far. So Butler 5-1. They get a light couple of weeks on paper. They get Wright State Friday afternoon while we're all freaking out about UConn, Illinois. Then they get Eastern Michigan on December 2nd, and then they have a huge game Saturday the 6th against Boise State. That's if Butler takes care of business and is 8-1 going into Big East play, I think they've got a great chance to build themselves an NCAA case.
There's a decent chance and again, because I think that our next 4 games are all at Hinkle. We will likely. Well, I don't even want to say we will be favored in all 4, and I think that I've watched Boise State this year. They didn't get dinged in KenPom for losing to a Division II school, so their KenPom rating is a bit out of whack. I think that we're better than them, and I think we're much better than Providence. I mean, they had a nice win, but I think Penn State sucks. So, and I'm not. We shouldn't go in. We should go in hoping to do well, but there's a pretty decent chance that Butler walks into Hartford 9-1, which is just, I wouldn't expect to win that game, but it's like if we put it this way, and I hate putting expectations on Butler basketball because of my history of being a Butler fan, but if we don't walk into Hartford 9-1, I'd be slightly disappointed.
Yeah, Butler, one of several teams last year who took UConn to overtime at Hartford with the worst team. So, and that would be wild. I can't believe it's in Hartford again, Kyle. I'm sorry. I can't believe it's a Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Peacock game.
I don't care when the game is. As soon as it's in stores, I'm coming. Like I don't want. I'm not saying that you guys have it's a bad experience in Hartford. I get it, but just on TV, I don't know. When I do make the trip out to UConn, I want it to be Gamble. I do.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm waiting for you to show up at the women's basketball game at this point because I don't know if they're ever going to play the men's game. But that'll be nuts if it's a. I mean, if they're 9-1, they might be ranked. That could be a ranked game.
It's possible. I think because I think the Providence game is a Saturday, so it is a Saturday.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean that would be if they're 9-1 with adding a Boise and Providence win plus a couple of the top 25 teams taking some losses. It's possible. They'd at least have a vote or two, I'm sure. But it's possible we could have a Butler UConn ranked game in Hartford, which God help me.
Hot balls. It's just nice to see somebody else in the league fucking trying.
Just a little effort goes a long way.
Yeah, Butler's been the surprise so far, along with, I mean, even more than Georgetown, because we knew it was in there for Georgetown. It was just a matter of executing for it. Georgetown heads into a huge week in which they get to try and solve the AJ DeBonsa puzzle. I wish them a lot of luck with that one on Friday if they get stuck with it. Butler's off. The huge attention for the next 5 days, Hot Balls, really is Players Era, which has swallowed everything else up, which means tomorrow afternoon, a fucking big time game for St. John's. They have Iowa State at 4:30 p.m. on True TV. Oh, that's so sick. I can't wait to watch that instead of working.
What time are they playing tomorrow?
4:30 p.m. on True TV.
I'm actually more excited to watch. Well, not more excited. I'm very excited to watch the St. John's game, but I'm very interested and a little nervous to see if Creighton actually might be kind of shit.
Yes. Creighton Baylor is 2 p.m. on True TV.
I mean, 2 p.m. is just horrible, but like on
11 a.m. local.
Right. I mean, I'm just saying that we only saw them go into Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga's a legitimate national championship contender. I think Gonzaga's great, but they got their brakes beat off. If they lose, and if they lose somewhat convincingly to Baylor, I'm gonna start having some thoughts about Creighton this year.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Boy, it was interesting how quickly they had a brutal weekend in terms of the news, because Jackson McAndrew is done for the year, which is a massive loss for them. And they immediately announced that, I can't remember which player, one of the players who was going to redshirt the year, just kidding, he's going to play this year. But it's been a brutal week for Creighton on that front, because now we got to see what they look like without McAndrew. And I'm a little concerned. So yeah, the full Players Era schedule for tomorrow, because this beats working, folks. These games are all on either TNT or True TV. Jesus. Rutgers, Tennessee at 1 p.m. Eastern. Creighton, Baylor at 2. Kansas, Notre Dame at 3:30. St. John's, Iowa State at 4:30. Houston, Syracuse at 6. Auburn, Oregon at 8. Gonzaga, Alabama at 9:30. Michigan, San Diego State at 10:30. And UNLV, Maryland at midnight. I hate everything about this tournament, but goddamn, that's a lot of good basketball.
It is. A lot of good basketball.
And meanwhile, we got. I understand that it's the whole NIL. There's a reason why Players Era is taking everything over, but I mean the Maui field this year just truly makes me sad. It makes me sad.
It's really depressing. Yeah, they'll get underway at the Islands at 2:30 p.m. Seton Hall, NC State. That's actually a huge. Seton Hall's played nothing but tomato cans so far. If they can get that game, that'd be a massive win for them in the league. That's at 2:30 on ESPN2. USC Boise State at 5 on ESPN2. Washington State Chaminade at 9 o'clock on ESPNU. And then Arizona State Texas is at 11:30. And if Bobby Hurley can win the Maui Invitational, that will make Thanksgiving very funny for Dave. That's what I want. I've decided that's what I want. I want Arizona State to win the Maui Invitational just to fuck with Dan.
Hey, watch out for Seton Hall.
Listen, I've been really impressed so far, only because, Kyle, you could chime on this, man. The expectations couldn't have been lower. They've played 4 bye games, and they haven't screwed any of them up. And that's a huge step forward.
Well, traditionally, the way they really screw with Seton Hall is having a gigantic center. And NC State does not have that. And
The kid Hines for Hall as the freshman center is an incredibly legit player. He is. I know they've played tomato cans, as Hurley Mania said, but that kid is a very, very, very good Big East player. If he sticks around, he's no Thomas Sorber, but if he sticks around multiple years in the Big East, he's going to be one of the better big men in the conference. If he sticks around, I mean, that kid is really good.
I'm interested by the fact that he doesn't start, even though he looks unbelievable when he's on the floor compared to what you expect for a Seton Hall player. It'll be interesting to see how much Shaw lets him kind of go. So far, I mean, fouls haven't really been too big of a problem for him, which is kind of what you expect. He only had he's also played. This is going to be a huge step up. They've played St. Peter's, Wagner, Fairfield, Monmouth, and New Haven. NC State's got athletes. I think they have a really good team. So we'll see what that looks like in a very depressing Maui Invitational, a very sad thing to watch. Honestly, I know Dan was against it and all that, but hot balls. And I grew up watching this tournament. It was really cool. It was really neat. And now it's like we're watching the Great Alaska Shootout thing happen again in real time. But we know what's coming, and nobody wants to stop it.
I'm just really hoping that we don't have Seton Hall, for the sake of the league and for the sake of my eyeballs watching Seton Hall. I hope we don't have Seton Hall playing against Chaminade on Wednesday.
Oh, I think that would be tremendous theater. That would be.
Who doesn't want to see that? That's exactly what I want to see.
I don't want to see it this year because Seton Hall's held up their end of the bargain, but last year I would have loved to see that. That would have been amazing.
The Shaw presser after a 10-point win against Chaminade.
I hope Jaden Daly's got somebody out there getting the Shaw quotes. It's gonna be hard. Not getting that raw audio, which I always appreciate. But yeah, Kyle, great start for your guys. So
yeah, last thing before I listen to the rest. You two, and then all the other UConn fans that have reached out. You guys couldn't have been more right about, and he's not here right now. I'm just glazing, but you guys couldn't have been more right about Jared Thomas. Unbelievable person and an unbelievable ambassador for the program. He's doing great stuff. Drove 6.5 hours with a bunch of fatheads that he printed out himself of the players to West Virginia. Drove back for one game. He wasn't even there Friday. And joins and talks in every space I do after the games, which are much smaller than these, but still a good community. The guy is, I'm sad for you, but happy for Butler. I mean, the unbelievable person and doing an amazing job with the Butler community so far.
I don't know, man.
He's
I hate
all right.
quitters. I hate quitters. No, listen,
Benedict Thomas.
Kyle, he helped turn UConn football around. Butler basketball is light work. So, yeah, happy for Jared, sad for us. But we get to welcome the trader back in a couple of weeks. Hot balls. So that'll be fun.
I'm sure he'll make the
bowels of the People's Arena.
I'm sure he'll make the trip too.
We'll see. If he's got the courage.
You're calling him out.
I'll meet you in the basement of the People's Arena.
He was on my spaces directly, like after the game today. It's a very with how our program often runs or ran 3 years ago when Collier was the AD, or 2 years ago, like it was still 1985. It's just nice to see and not that it's, you know, I can see downsides, but it's nice to actually have someone who's with the program, on the program, isn't, should be restricted as far as what, they're going to say and what they're not going to say. Just talking with a bunch of Butler fans, basically saying like, yeah, we should finish third or fourth in the conference. And if we don't, I'm going to be sad about it. And I was like, hell yeah. Thank you. Like, it's just a refresher.
I agree.
Kyle,
Norman.
on the
Thank
record,
you.
do you think that Butler is going to be better than Villanova?
Villanova, as far as like teams who could finish third, fourth, I'm looking at just in our tier. I'm looking at Villanova, Georgetown, Creighton, and I think that there's going to be days that were better than those teams and days that were not as good. I think Georgetown's probably better than us. Villanova is probably the team we have to look to finish ahead of.
Yeah,
I think you're better than Georgetown, and you might be better than Villanova.
I mean, the backcourt matchup I never thought I'd say this, the Georgetown Butler backcourt matchup will be must-see television.
And the reason I actually feel pretty decent against Georgetown is KJ Lewis is an unbelievable player, but he's also 6'4". I don't know who in the hell on Georgetown is guarding Ajayi. I don't know who the hell in this conference on a lot of teams is guarding Ajayi.
Yeah, he's a load. I love the league totally knew what it was doing. I just noticed this, Cal. They backloaded the Butler Georgetown games. They knew. They knew it was coming. They knew it was coming. When you get KJ Lewis versus Ajayi, they're gonna need and Finley. You're gonna need like 7 basketballs on the floor.
You're gonna have Finley and Malik Mack pulling from 30 feet like 5 times, and it's gonna be some fun games.
Absolute theater. It's gonna be tremendous theater. I'm looking this up right now because I love that. Oh, the first game is noon on TNT. I want to see where they gave these 2 games to because this could be a wild one. And FS1 on a Wednesday got the other one. Oh, it's 6:30 and on a Wednesday in DC. That's gonna be brutal.
If it's a 3 or 4 bid league, I think, and this is just, again, I'm so happy that I can say these words, and I'm also scared that I'm saying them. But if it's a 3 or 4 bid leagues, the games I'm circling right now as a Butler fan are the Georgetown games, the Nova games, and the Creighton games.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think Kevin's done a good job so far at Nova. The ceiling's really high. Or sorry, the floor is really high. The ceiling, I don't know. They play better against BYU than I expected, but they're also in a part of their schedule. They play Michigan on the road December 9th. We'll see what that looks like. Michigan's been a real weird team to watch so far. I thought they'd be better than they have been, but that's a huge ask. If Villanova can somehow get that game, then the conference will feel a lot better, I think, than it does right now.
Yeah, I think the big ones for Villanova are going to be obviously the Michigan game will kind of give us a much better kind of idea where they're at. They also got Wisconsin, which will be interesting. Pitt, evidently.
Pitt lost to Pitt got blown out.
Yes, they did.
By if we're going to do transitive, which is transitive, but if Pitt got blown out by a West Virginia team that just got beat handily by Xavier.
You know who else Pitt got blown out by?
Quinnipiac
Bobcats. I remember hot balls growing up, or in college, really. What an impossible place that was to play in, the Pete, and what a bear pit that was, and how loud it was, and how intense it was. And now, just the shittiest teams are just waltzing in there and just beating the shit out of them.
It's crazy.
It's really great.
It is good. Fuck them, first of all, but second of all, it is pretty incredible. It's like their second really bad loss. Lost to UCF a couple days ago.
So UCF might be decent, but nobody thinks they are because they're the 48th team you think of in the Big 12. I actually kind of like UCF this year. That's a loaded statement, but I think Johnny Dawkins might save his job this year. The team's actually not bad, but yeah, Pitt's a a joke. Just a complete joke. Their women's team lost to a non-D1 team the other day.
Oh, they lost to Scranton.
Yeah, they lost to the Office. That athletic department is a fucking joke right now. But they get money, so that's good.
Money that does them no good.
The volleyball
Doesn't do any of the fans any good. Doesn't do anything. Won the many games. It's actually won the fewer games.
That pregame shot of them before the Bucknell game, which they won, and the Pete, like it was at tip-off, and there was maybe 1,000 people in the Pete. Like, that floored me, how bad it is.
Oh, it's crazy. Having lived through the mid-2000s, even in the 80s and 90s, I mean, they weren't what they were in the 2000s. That was still a really hard place to play. Like, that was a rowdy road game.
The field house was crazy.
Yeah. And just to see that like that it's pretty sad. It is also very funny. But it is sad. I mean, I always felt like Boston College and Pitt and Syracuse would really fall off. I'll be honest with you. In my wildest imagination, I could not imagine them being as bad as they've been. By the way, Boston College today. Another thrilling performance against Tulane. 93-90 overtime loss.
Bowden Kapke with the 3-pointer from the logo descended to overtime.
That was funny. I did enjoy that. By the way, one of the many terrible things, like he cut the hair now, Kyle. What the fuck?
I still talk to him in DMs. Great kid. Yeah, he cut the hair.
This is great.
I don't know.
That's worse than going to BC.
Hey, he likes it. He likes it in Chestnut Hill. He's very aware that the team he's on is not great, but
struggling. Yeah. BC is 3-4, having lost at FAU, home to Central Connecticut, and they lost both games in the shitty bracket in Charleston. They lost to Davidson and Tulane. So, they're going through it right now. Yeah, I can't believe, like, you hope for your enemy's downfall and all that, but I can't believe how bad at basketball all of them are. Like, the Syracuse one stuns me the most, maybe. But for BC to just never in 15 years, their first couple years in the ACC, they were actually really good, and then they fire Al Skinner, which was stupid, and they just have been like, you got to send a search party to find them the last 15 years. I couldn't believe we scheduled them for an exhibition. I didn't know we even knew how to get a hold of them.
I still think the funniest thing on planet Earth with Pitt is that they didn't hire Dan Hurley.
There are some, we've been over it, but there are some really great tweets about that still circulate every once in a while.
You wouldn't so happen to have any of those bookmarked, would you?
No, I don't. I know Zach, who's listening, does. The other Zach. It's the all-time sliding doors moment for UConn, but also for Pitt. Yeah. And it's great for us, but also it's credit to the thing we talk about. Like, Dan knew which one of those two programs had money and which didn't. This was in the program in the American that was shitty. And he still was like, nope, I would rather be the UConn coach. You can have all the TV money you want at Pitt, all you want. One of these programs I can win a championship at. One is hopeless.
I just looked up on Twitter, Pitt Dan Hurley, and the first tweet I see is from 2018, and it said, I'll send it. It says Pitt's new backup plan if Dan Hurley says no, and it's the guy it's the drunk guy from Hoosiers.
I see this too. Yeah. Oh boy.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah. Oh, this was the great one. So Zach, I found it now. This was from the Jeff Capel press conference at Pitt, from Pitt Guru. My phone is blown up during the Jeff Capel press conference. My favorite text and food for thought. Why was Dan Hurley our number one choice? I think we ended up with a better choice and fit. I happen to agree.
Oh.
I mean, the fact
the
that he became
website
the
of
best
record
coach in the sport, I wouldn't have seen that one coming. Like,
Just
I'm wrong a lot, but
insane.
holy shit, that's like really
Just
like,
insane, dude.
and they have a worse football program than we do too. So
There was a time where I kind of respected the game a little bit because they won the ACC when it was 2021. It was like right after COVID, in football, and they just
yeah,
kind of dumped all their other sports in the trash and just went all in on football and tried to make a run at it. And yeah,
with one exception, they have an elite volleyball program. I'm not even clowning them.
oh
They
yeah,
actually
no, they
do.
do, they
They
have a
do.
very good coach.
They do have an elite volleyball program. I don't know. That's what the Peterson Event Center is actually home to.
So,
And then their AD wanted to spend a bunch of money on Olympic sports because of that, and she got fired because everybody at Pitt was like, why are you spending all the money on this? We can't afford this. It's been their athletic department's a very interesting tire fire, but that's more of a Sage show than this.
I'm sorry for continuing to chime in, but I just saw another absolute whopper. This is probably some bullshit, but it's still funny. I just saw a tweet and this is just killer for Pitt fans. This is from 2018 from someone named Chase Williams. I'm sending it now. After missing out on Dan Hurley, Pitt men's basketball is reportedly targeting Buffalo's Nate Oates.
They had the right idea.
They went for Hurley, and I don't even know if they actually went for Oates. This might be bullshit, but Hurley and Oates, and then they end up with what they have.
Yeah, well, fuck them. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate it. The Bulldogs look great. You were right. I was wrong so far. We'll see if they keep it up, and appreciate your crusade against the mac and cheeseification of Thanksgiving.
We squeezed about 2 hours out of this goddamn
I cannot
basketball
fucking
game tonight.
believe it. I'm stunned that we did that. I mean, we only did about 30 minutes on the game. We did the rest on Thanksgiving and Butler and shit, and laughing at Pitt. But back to the serious matters Friday afternoon, 12:30, Illinois.
Black Friday. And I am going to be watching the game in a car.
You have it rough. Yeah. So we live producing. I have what time do you want to even try and do that space? We have the whole afternoon.
We do. Well, you have the whole afternoon. I do not.
That's true.
Have the entire afternoon. My daughter has her first big tournament, of course, Friday.
You're such
so
a
we're
man.
literally leaving from my in-laws to the tournament. And I'm going to be watching this game on the way to the tournament. So that's what I'm going to be doing.
Her game is at 2:00. I'm just going to spend the space Friday asking you about specific plays late in the second half that I know you won't have watched.
I am going to watch. I have multitasked this before, all right? I have done this before. I'm not looking forward to doing that, though. It's way too stressful of a game to do that with. I'm so mad this game's happening still. I will not let this go. Should never let them anywhere near us ever again.
It's a huge resume game, too, for UConn. I really hope Terrace and Braylon can be a part of it because as much as we talked about Butler and they're better, the limited options UConn has to improve their wins above bubble are games like this. The other one's at Kansas, and I'm rooting for the best, but it feels like an unrealistic thing to expect to get a win there. It should be a huge UConn crowd, folks that are going Friday. Be loud, be present, be crazy. Because they dropped a home game and we've said it. If they go 4-2 in these games, we're going to feel really good about the way this thing shakes out. So Friday is the next chance to kind of rectify the Arizona thing against an excellent gang of Eastern Europeans who are death merchants. And I say that as a compliment. This team is terrifying. If you want to sneak peek, they play tomorrow night on Big Ten Network. They play a bye game at 8:30, I think. So they'll look probably really good. So if you want a chance to scout Illinois and you haven't gotten a chance, you have that available to you. That is tomorrow night. They play the Vaqueros of UT Rio Grande Valley. That is 8 p.m. on the Big Ten Network.
An unusually weird run of games for them, too. They had a game Saturday and Monday. 2 and 3 days. Two 5 games in 3 days.
Yeah, and this is back-to-back huge ones for them. They're playing UConn at the Garden on Friday, and then 8 days later they play Tennessee in Nashville. So Brad Underwood scheduling tough. They already got the home win over Texas Tech, and we'll see if UConn goes at Visich. If he blocks 100, he blocks 100. God, I hope that doesn't. We don't have to bring that up, but should be fun, and we will space about it sometime Friday evening.
That was the last thing I wanted to say. Was I hope that Terrace Reed and Braylon Mullins are sitting in front of red light on their ankles for the next week.
See, I had an idea. They could just set up almost like the ferry from The Legend of Zelda. You just set up a big pod for Terrace, and that opening right next to the bench. Just like a pool of rejuvenation.
Yeah.
Just have him chilling in there like a potted plant.
Need to find the fountain.
Terrace's head sticking out. Big old goofy smile.
Yeah.
Just regenerating. That's what I want. A healthy Terrace. I get like a hyperbaric chamber and just lock him in there.
Yeah.
Anything I could.
I'll
give him my ankle.
I miss him so much. Please come back.
Please come back. Please, baby Jesus.
And then just
heal.
Yeah, and then just look at how well the freshmen have been doing around the sport.
Yeah, that's the worst thing. The freshman class is unreal. All of them have been great, and UConn's got one, and we haven't gotten to see. He's just the poor guy's on the sideline. It kills me, but he'll get his chance, and hopefully it's Friday.
Please be Friday.
Please. But yeah, it's a big test. I'm not UConn. It's a game they should be in even without those guys, but it's a lot harder, and the crowd should be a huge, hopefully equalizing factor. So everybody follow Dan Hurley. His advice: do your Thanksgiving on Wednesday. Get the tryptophan out. He said tryptophan so many times. They've got to be ready and ready to go at 12:30 on Friday. Because
it's amazing they're doing the turkey on Wednesday.
It's not.
It's incredible side commentary from Dan. Also, extremely disappointed in Jake Fenner and Jaden Daly for not asking him what was on the Thanksgiving dinner table. Missed opportunity.
Piss.
I even gave him the pitching wedge in the whole 9 yards. That was just a layup. Unreal.
I can hear, as they're stuck in Danbury traffic, I can hear Jaden Daly yanking the wheel to turn the car around to go back to Hartford and ask Dan.
Just want to know. Not tryptophan. He's gonna have it all out of his body. They're gonna be ready to go. Energetic on Friday, and so will we. We will also be energetic on Friday. We may be in a good mood Friday night. We may not be in a good mood on Friday night, but either way, we'll be here to break it down. As always, on Connecticut Basketball Spaces. But in the meantime, I want everybody to have a happy, healthy, maybe not as healthy, but enjoyable Thanksgiving holiday. Make sure you bring up politics with your family, too. Really the first thing you do.
Yeah, do that. Lead with that, actually.
You lead right in it. You go right in there. Right before you even get into the stuffing. Start stuffing your opinions down other people's throats.
It's what they want to hear. It's what everybody there really wants.
You get in there, and just like everything in life, you make it about you. And bring out the joy of this holiday season. And speaking of bad opinions, we will be back Friday night after the Illinois game to break down all things Huskies and Illini. It's a game we should not be playing. I do not want to give them their win back. I just cannot deal with that.
Listen, it'll never make up for the lost dates. So whatever. But hey, let's beat them again. So a huge chance to get a major resume win Friday.
Let's pad those resumes. All right, everybody, have a great holiday week. Safe travels to wherever it is that you're going to be on this planet for Thanksgiving. But until then, guys, you know the routine. Have a great rest of your week. And as always, keep in touch with yourselves. Good night, everybody.